You told me you took a Greyhound bus here. You didn't. You told me that you didn't have a cell phone, then you said maybe you did. You told me that you didn't drive the black Honda here, and you did.
It's just a bunch of psychology. Told you everything.
I'm not a psychology major. It's not what I do.
But you're a fed.
I looked at her, and I've never seen somebody's face so peaceful. Not in life, not in sleep.
This is Joseph Porter, 25 years old. And what he did after he killed his girlfriend is one of the most disturbing things you will ever hear. On January 4th, 2018, in Edina, Minnesota, Joseph Porter killed his girlfriend, Cristina Prodan, during an argument in their apartment. Police had been called to their building 3 times that same evening, 3 times in one night. Officers helped him pack his things, watched him drive away, and then Cristina called him back. She couldn't sleep. She wanted to cuddle. She forgave him. She never called anyone again. Joseph Porter and Cristina Prodan had been together for 5 months. He had moved from Arkansas to Minnesota to be with her, a woman he met online. They shared an apartment. He worked as a dishwasher at an upscale restaurant and was proud of it, the first real job he had ever held. But their relationship was volatile from the start. Arguments, police calls, a rape accusation that was later dropped, a no-contact order that neither of them followed. 2 people who loved each other and couldn't stop destroying each other.
The smell bothered me. I love her. And I talked to her like she was alive. I told her I was sorry. Please forgive me.
Until the night they couldn't come back from. Instead of calling 911, Joseph put Cristina in a suitcase and drove south, through Missouri, through Arkansas, all the way to New Orleans, 1,500 kilometers with her body in the back seat. He was stopped by police twice along the way. Both times he let them search the car. Part of him wanted to be caught.
I wasn't scared when the cops searched my vehicle. I gave them permission because I wanted them to find her.
In New Orleans, he set her on fire in a shipping container. The explosion burned his face and his hands. Cristina's body was so badly damaged it could only be identified by DNA. Joseph drove to his husband's trailer in Arkansas. He was married to a man while living with Cristina and waited. He knew police were coming. He stopped sleeping. He just waited for the knock at the door. It came 5 days later. Watch as an FBI agent sits across from a man with burns still fresh on his face, lying about everything. And then watch the second interrogation 11 weeks later, when Joseph finally decides to tell the truth. At the end of this video, you will see the sentence Joseph Porter received. This is his interrogation.
It's Joseph, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go by Joe or Joseph?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? All right.
All this for probation violation.
Well, man, we'll get to that.
I don't have time for this.
Okay. Well, let's get it done, and then we'll move on. And if it's just a simple probation violation or whatever it is, then we'll get it done. We'll get it knocked out. I work for the FBI, and we just want to visit with you, take some time, and talk with what's going on. You think it's probation violation that you're here for?
That's all I've done wrong.
Well, okay. What did you violate? What's your violation?
I left the state of Minnesota.
You're on violation there? I mean, you're on probation in Minnesota?
Yeah.
So you've been convicted for something there?
Mm-hmm.
What were you convicted for in Minnesota?
I was convicted for Danko violation.
For what?
Danko violation.
What is Danko?
Violating a no contact order.
They sentenced you to probation,
Mm-hmm.
and then you were not supposed to leave the state.
I wasn't supposed to leave the state of Minnesota, and here I am.
Where are you originally from?
Oregon.
Oregon.
Why are you asking me questions that you already have the answers to?
That's part of it. I mean, some of my answers I know, and some I don't know.
I got in a
Suspended
fight with
sentence,
somebody who was a lot bigger than me.
Okay. And you got a battery charge, and you got a 3-year suspended sentence, right?
I don't know what 3 years suspended sentence.
You didn't go to jail for that one, did
Yeah, I went to prison.
In where?
In this state.
In Arkansas?
Yeah.
I'm not showing that, see, so I don't know everything. Did you do any prison out in California?
I did 9 months in the county jail in California for possession of a stolen vehicle.
So you've been through the system. You sat in front of law enforcement before, right?
Yeah, I have. And I'm tired of it. All I want to do is live my life and I just want peace.
Well, I can appreciate that. That's what I do for a living, is try to make peace. That's what both of us have done for over 20 years, is try to make peace.
Let me put it this way. I don't know who my father is. My mother is batshit crazy and a pill popper. Since I was 13, all she's done was f me over. If I don't give her what she wants, she f me over. I'm not stupid. I know this is her doing.
Well, explain to me what
I
you
know
mean by
she
that.
called the cops. Again.
On you?
Yeah.
For what? Why would she have done that?
Because I was over at my husband's place. I'm not stupid. This is how she does. The first time she did this, I was 17 and I was in a juvenile facility because of her. She called the Secret Service and told them that I wrote death threat letters saying that I was going to kill Obama and Biden and whoever the vice president was. 17 years old. The Secret Service came and talked to me.
At this time, though, I need to read your rights, okay? Joseph, how far did you go to school?
7th grade.
Okay. Do you read and write okay?
I've been reading and writing college level since I was 9.
Good.
I have read this statement of my rights and I understand that what my rights are. At this time, I am willing to answer questions without lawyer present.
Okay. So you want to talk to us? If you'll just sign your name right there.
I went up there for a woman and it didn't work out. The only good thing that came out of there was I was proud of 2 things. 1, opening up a bank account. First time I ever done that. And 2, actually having a tax-paying job.
Listen to how he describes Minnesota. Not, I lost someone I loved. Not, something terrible happened. Just, it didn't work out. He talks about his bank account and his dishwasher job with more emotion than he talks about Cristina. Because at this point in the interrogation, Joseph Porter is building a narrative. He is the struggling guy who tried his best in a difficult situation, and it just didn't work out. He is performing a character, the well-meaning but unlucky man, for an FBI agent who already knows that Cristina Prodan is dead and that the man sitting across from him put her in a suitcase and drove 1,500 kilometers south with her body in the back seat.
Which I've never had for that long.
What job did you have?
I worked at Boone Bistro,
And what is that?
a very expensive upscale
Restaurant? What'd you do there?
I was a dishwasher and food prep.
Did you like it?
I loved it. The entire time I was in Minnesota, it was nothing but problem after problem. I met a girl online, dated her online for a month, and then I moved up there to her. It didn't go good. I ended up going to jail 3 times over her. Yeah, I lived with her, but after the no contact order, I started living with my boss. And that was temporary, and then I ended up living at the restaurant in the grease shack behind it. And when the court was over and they lifted the Danko, I moved back in with her, and it didn't go good. I think I was there for 3 days. Finally, the 3rd or 4th day or whatever it was, the cops were involved 3 times, and they helped me pack my stuff and load it all in my car, and I left.
And you came back to Arkansas to see your mom or to?
No, my mom
Your
sent
husband?
me. My mom sent me a text message saying she doesn't want me around. Yeah, that's typical. I'm used to that. So I ended up just going to my husband. We're trying to fix everything. I mean, he just surprised me because he quit drinking beer, and the 2 things that we always argued about was alcohol and finances.
So what about the relationship in Minnesota?
I was with a girl that I met online, and it just didn't work out. 2 miscarriages, and always fought about the same thing.
What was that? What'd you buy?
Money.
Did she work?
No. I worked.
What is her name?
Her name is Cristina Prodan. A few days of living with her, we got into 3 arguments, and finally I just had enough. And I told her that we weren't going anywhere. This is our future. This is what we're going to be doing. And I'm not going to do this.
How did she take that?
Not good. She started screaming, and I got mad, and I asked her to quiet down. You know, the walls are thin. Neighbors can hear. It's condominium. Finally, after 30 minutes or some crap of being yelled at, I yelled at her, shut the f up, and she just got louder. So I ended up breaking one of my computers, and the neighbors called the cops, and they came over, and we explained to them what was going on. They left. 30 minutes, an hour later, they came back again. They helped me pack my stuff and take it down to my car, and I told them, hey, look, I got somewhere, I have to work the next day. I cannot deal with this. And they told me that the best thing to do is just end it. They left, so I had all my stuff in my car. The third time the cops were involved was right after they left. I was sitting in my car, and I wanted to smoke a cigarette before I started driving. She ended up walking outside, and I seen her, so I put my car in reverse, tried driving off. She grabbed my door handle, so I slammed on my brakes. I don't want to be responsible for anything. She got in my car, and I asked her for about 20 minutes, please get out of my car. And she would not get out of my car. She just kept begging me not to leave, not to go, stay. Finally, I seen a cop drive by, and I was like, you know what? There went a cop. He's gonna help me get you out of my car. And it was one of the same guys that we talked to twice that night already. So I asked him to help me out, and he had to actually escort her out of my vehicle, and another guy helped me into my vehicle, and they told me, get out of here. So I left and didn't look back. And I got some messages saying, call me. I love you, and like that. I mean, she had her disability, I have my disability, and I had my job, and I was proud.
You drove and you got as far as Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And your car broke down.
Yep.
What'd you do with your car in Iowa?
Left it.
Just on the side of the road?
Mm-hmm.
Walked away from it? Or did you sell it?
No.
What'd you do with it?
I was in the city, and I just left it right there.
What city was it?
Des Moines.
You left it in Des Moines and you snuck on a bus.
Yeah.
What kind of bus?
It was like Greyhound, but it wasn't Greyhound.
And you rode it to where?
Little Rock.
You just happened to get on a bus?
No, I stayed there until I found the right bus.
That was coming to Little Rock?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you got to Little Rock, where'd you go from after you got off the bus?
Started walking. I seen Richard and my husband.
Okay. Where'd you see him at?
I went over to his place.
He know you were coming? Did you call him and tell him?
No, we haven't talked in 6 months.
And what have y'all done for the 2 days you've been there?
We've been eating Twinkies, drinking Dr. Pepper, and watching movies.
Anything else during that time period y'all been doing? Y'all been getting out and about, going out to eat, going to Walmart,
No, we don't.
going to Subway?
No,
What have y'all gotten out and done?
nothing. I know he's got 2 vehicles outside of his house. I don't know what they are.
He's got 2. Are they both his?
I don't know whose vehicles they are.
Okay. When Minnesota contacted us, talking about the Danko order, they said that they had a police record that you were stopped in the evening shade by a state trooper
Okay.
in your black Honda.
I was never stopped by a state trooper in evening shade.
I mean, it wouldn't come up that there was a mistake. I mean, they've got your a black Honda that you were in. You weren't written a citation.
Alright, you know what? I don't want to talk about that Honda.
Why is that?
That Honda was illegal. I didn't have any paperwork on it.
Okay.
All I had was a title, but I never filled it out. I got 3 tickets in that car. 2 for no insurance, and the guy that I bought it from, I paid $300. The guy that I bought it from took one of those little bitty stickers off another license plate and put it on that one. Didn't tell me it was expired. So I got a ticket for that. What I'm worried about is these tickets biting me in the ass. I don't want to lose my driver's license.
I understand, that's fair. Joseph, we're trying to communicate here, and it's just me that's doing all the talking, and I'm trying to help you out in trying to get the story, like we talked about, of what happened from when you left Minnesota, so I can let the people there in Minnesota know. Where's the car now?
I don't remember where I parked it.
You
I just pulled over at a gas station.
Here in Arkansas?
Yeah, in the state, and it just wouldn't go.
Well, there's a silver Pontiac that you were driving, and how did you come to acquire the silver Pontiac? Or is that another car you don't want to talk about?
That's another car I just don't want to talk about.
Strike 2 on vehicles.
We didn't do well with the cars.
No, we're not doing good with cars.
My last 3 vehicles before the black Honda were all pieces, and I don't want to talk about those.
Is the Pontiac a decent car?
No, it's General Motors. I've already had problems out of that one.
You went to Walmart in it. Well, that's the only reason I know, and then it's over there at the house. And Richard said that it was your car, and
I just don't want to talk about that.
okay, don't want to talk about the car. Well, all right. Tell me what happened to your hands.
My hands and my face, I was out in the woods and I fell asleep next to my campfire.
Did you ever hit her?
No.
Never hit her?
No.
Did she ever hit you?
Yeah.
I heard she accused you one time of
Of rape.
rape. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she turned around and told them that to drop it, that she didn't want to pursue.
And they did drop it.
Yeah.
I mean, did that happen, or was she just trying to?
She was pissed off at me.
She was just trying to get a charge on you.
Yeah.
How'd you take that?
I just called her a liar, and I told her straight up, do you know what they're going to do to you in court? They're going to put me on a voice analyzing stress test, and I'm going to pass that with flying colors. And when they give you a lie detector test, you are going to fail, and you are going to be charged with perjury.
Where's Cristina now?
She's in Minnesota.
She's in Minnesota at the condo?
He says this without hesitation, without a flicker. Cristina is in Minnesota, at the condo, the same condo where police found a bloody handprint between the bed and the closet. The same condo where her wallet and her ID and her food stamp card were left behind, things she would never abandon. The same condo where her mother called 911 because she hadn't heard from her daughter in 2 days. Joseph Porter knows exactly where Cristina is. She is in a burned shipping container in New Orleans. And he looks an FBI agent in the eye and says, "She's at the condo." That sentence is the clearest window into who Joseph Porter is.
Yeah. The last place I seen her.
Because they tried to contact her and she won't respond to anybody's calls.
Okay.
When they were looking for you, they were trying to find her and they can't find her either.
Okay. The cops have had that problem with her before.
Of her disappearing.
Of her not answering their calls.
How should we get a hold of Cristina? Because there's a lot of people that are concerned
Go to her
about her.
place.
That's been done. She's not there.
Go to her mom's place.
She's not there. Mom's worried about her.
It's the only 2 places I know of.
She's not either one, and you were the last one that had contact with her besides.
I'm not the last one that had
besides the
contact with her.
police that were there that night when you said you left. That's the last one that she's had contact with. So that is also something we're trying to do is contact and find her to find out you know, when you disappeared from there and you came here, we're trying to find out, you know, where she's at. We're trying to find you and find where you are. Have you talked to her since you've been back here? Communicated, I'm sorry, we're done, another fight, anything?
I haven't talked to her since.
So when you rolled out of there and the police packed your bags,
Yeah, that's the last time I talked to her.
did she come to Arkansas with you?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No way.
No.
Man, we're trying to figure it out. Tell me what y'all were doing at Walmart.
Walmart. Getting cigarettes. I was returning a propane hose adapter that I bought several months back.
Did you also sell some phones?
Yeah, those are some of the phones that I had.
Did you sell some?
Yeah.
Okay. Says that it's owned
I
by
just.
a company out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay.
Is it stolen?
How am I supposed to know?
I don't know.
If it's stolen, it would have been repossessed.
You're exactly right. It wasn't reported stolen. I mean, but the guy that you got it from or traded with it, was it New Orleans? I mean, is he from New Orleans? And I mean, out of the life of me that you got through without getting any ticket, that's pretty slick. You must be able to talk well to the guy that pulled you over.
How's that?
Because even
I was
me, man.
actually asleep in the car.
Oh, you mean you were stationary?
Yeah.
You
I
weren't-
told him straight up, I just got this car and I don't have any paperwork on it.
Where was that? Is that out here at the lake?
Yeah.
If you're not taken back to Minnesota, that is your plan, would be to stay here and reconcile with him.
Mhm.
Did you talk with him about your relationship with Cristina?
Briefly, and just enough from me for him to know that I had sex with a slut first and then I met Cristina and dated her for a while and it didn't work.
He still feels for it all?
I love that woman. I have her name tattooed on my chest.
We ran a trace on Christina's phone.
Okay.
It's here in Cabot and here in Jacksonville, and it's been showing where you are.
I don't have it.
Is she here?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, where you've been today, the phone has been turned on where you've been, because we got you when you were over at Walmart
Okay.
and in that area, and the phone was turned on at the same time that you were in that area. If you have her phone, it's not that big a
I
deal.
don't have
You're trying
her
to
phone.
find her.
That was a mistake on my part if I grabbed it. But there's a lot of phones. I grabbed like 7 phones from her place. Sold all of them.
For her to be in the places that you were today would be impossible then.
Unless she's stalking me, yeah.
Okay? We haven't seen that.
Good.
Well, her mom is worried sick about her. Did they have a good relationship?
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
No. They had the relationship that I've ever seen between a parent and a child. And then Cristina has told me that her mom stabbed her in the arm here, and to get even, Cristina stabbed her in the foot. And I've seen Cristina slap the shit out of her mom. I've seen her mom slap Christina's grandmother, who's damn near 90-something.
Cristina had told her mom recently that she was fearful for her safety
She's
because
also
of y'all's relationship, yours and her relationship.
She's also told the courts that. And then she turned around and told the courts that, no, she's not afraid of me. She wants me living with her. She's wishy-washy. It was the best relationship that I've had.
You had a restraining order. You got
Well,
arrested twice.
you gotta understand, in a short amount of time, with Richard, when I first met him, it was fresh out of the Marines, PTSD, a lot of blackout spells and violence for years, 2 years. So I went through a lot of with him. And with her, I went to jail over 3 times, and a lot of arguments, and nobody's actually ever taken me out on dates. No one's ever told me that I'm beautiful and shit like that. She makes me feel really good. Nobody's ever treated me the way that she did. And I loved it. I love her for it.
If you will communicate and be honest with us, I can get the probation violation thrown out.
I just told you everything.
You told me you took a Greyhound bus here. You didn't. You told me that you didn't have a cell phone, then you said maybe you did. You told me that you didn't drive the black Honda here, and you did.
It's just a bunch of psychology.
I'm not a psychology major. It's not what I do.
But you're a fed.
The agent just listed 3 separate lies in one breath. The bus, the phone, the car. 3 things Joseph told him in the past hour that were provably false. And Joseph's response? It's just bull psychology, as if the agent is playing games rather than reading back his own words. This is the moment the first interrogation effectively ends. Not because Joseph confesses, but because the agent has shown him, quietly and without drama, that every single story he has told today has already been checked, and every single one has already fallen apart.
So what's your opinion of feds? Have you ever sat down with feds before? Or is this your first time? So tell me, what is a fed supposed to be?
Fed is supposed to be somebody who's extremely smart, knows how to get inside the minds of other individuals, knows how to solve things and delve deep.
That sounds pretty impressive. I don't know that I'd put myself on that full pedestal, but I want to do my job, I want to do it well, but I don't know if I'd go that far. I'm a truth finder and seeker, and that's what I want. That's all I desire.
There's nothing else that I can tell you.
Richard tells a completely different story.
And good for him. But quit wasting my time and take me back to that goddamn holding cell.
Did you go to Louisiana on your way through this trip?
I'd never been to Louisiana a day in my life.
Whose gas cans are those at the trailer?
Well, those are all my gas cans from Minnesota.
Is it possible that you just reached your breaking point and y'all started arguing and you hurt?
There's no way in hell.
Maybe you didn't mean to. I don't think you're the kind of guy who would teach a fight a woman.
There's no way in hell.
I mean, crap, I've been married 30 years. You know how many times we fought to the point that I've had to just get up and leave because I was afraid I was going to hurt her? That stuff happens in a relationship. That's not unusual.
There is no way in hell.
Tell me, what are we going back to? You said
I'm
you're
going
pissed.
back.
No,
I'm going back to the holding cell. Kiss my ass. I'm going back to the holding
I
cell.
will take you
We're
back.
done. We are done.
Okay, I hear you. Sit down.
No, I'm not sitting down. You can take me back. You can take me back or I'll walk back.
No, you can't leave until we get the police officer. So I want
Right.
you to sit down. If you want to quit going around the circles, we'll quit going around the circles. Did you have anything to do with Cristina being disappeared?
No.
You haven't acted very concerned about it when we've told you that she's been missing all this time. Her mom doesn't know where she is. We've checked every place we know. Her phone has been in your possession, not in her possession, and you haven't acted that
Why am I
concerned
supposed to
about
be concerned about all this bull?
Because you told us you love her.
And
That's why you should be concerned. You asked a question, that's a straightforward question. Why should you be
then
concerned?
my mother has cancer and I love her, but I'm not concerned about my mother.
Did you tell Richard what happened to Cristina?
Why don't you kiss my ass?
I'm asking you a question. Did you tell Richard what happened to Cristina?
No, I didn't.
We're going to find Cristina, with or without you. And I'd rather you help us and help yourself than the way you're choosing to go.
You can't bring Cristina back to life, but you can tell us where she is.
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
So I'm going to ask you again, how did you burn yourself?
I'm going to tell you again, I'm done talking. You just keep asking the same questions.
Because, man, I want you to tell me the truth. I want you to tell the truth.
I want you to kiss my ass and suck my but that ain't happening.
It's not going to happen. We're going to find her.
Okay.
We're going to
I
find
hope you do.
We're going to find
Well, when you find her, tell her I still want my $500.
Just like Richard. murder.
You heard that?
Do what?
I just got through talking to Richard, and Richard said that you killed her and burned her. So Richard gave it up. So now we know the truth.
Richard has no reason why.
He got no reason to lie.
Sounds like somebody doesn't want to go to jail. And anybody in the right situation is going to lie their ass off just not to go to jail.
Give whoever family she has some closure of what happened so they're not worried about where her body is.
Take me back to the cell now. You can tell the judge, suck my too.
That was the first interrogation. Joseph Porter spent an hour with the FBI and denied everything. He said he never went to Louisiana. He said he didn't have Christina's phone. He said she was at the condo in Minnesota. He had a story for everything, and every story was a lie. Detectives let him go back to his cell. And for the next 11 weeks, while Joseph sat in jail waiting, investigators built the case around him piece by piece. The shipping container in New Orleans, the receipts from Home Depot and AutoZone, the DNA from the burned body. All of it confirmed what they already knew. 11 weeks later, they came back, and this time, the conversation was different.
Joe, I'm Blake Hoster. I'm with the FBI out of Minneapolis. I'm Joel Moore with the Edina Police Department in Minnesota.
I don't mean any offense to either one of you,
Yeah.
but you're FBI, you're police, and I would like my lawyer here.
Okay, that's your choice. That's your choice. I can't stop you from that. I was hoping to have a conversation with you. I'm sure you got lots of questions. I've got some answers I can give you today. I know you talked to.
I got a couple questions.
Yeah, I know you talked to my counterparts from down here a couple months ago. They didn't have a lot of answers when they were talking to you, so they were kind of jerking you around. So I was hoping we could have a different kind of conversation today. But if that's what you want, that's what you want. That's your choice.
I mean, I don't mind. You can go ahead and ask the questions because I am curious.
Yeah.
But I'm more than likely going to say I'd like to answer that or have my lawyer here or whatever.
That's absolutely, you're right. So I have, because you're in jail, I have to read you your Miranda. But we can talk after I read that, and at any point you can stop it or say you don't want to answer it. I mean, that's totally up to you how you want to play this. Right? I'm not here to give you legal advice. If you want your lawyer here, we can wait to have your lawyer here. Before I ask you any questions, you must understand your rights.
I'll be honest, I'm willing to sign anything.
Okay, all right.
Doesn't matter if it's that or anything else. Eventually, one of these days, my name is going to be worth something, so I'm helping you out.
Yeah, all right, man. Let's get through this and we'll get to it, all right?
You want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I have read a statement of my rights and I understand what my rights are. At this time, I am willing to answer questions without a lawyer present.
If we start bumping into lunch, I'll have them bring some food, okay?
Okay.
You're not going to miss a meal because of us. No way. Maybe I could talk them into getting something better. I can give them some cash or something if they'll allow that. I understand that you like Dr. Pepper. Right? Am I wrong?
You've been talking to too many people.
I told you. I come down here with answers this time. Last time you had a conversation about what happened.
Either that or now I actually know has been reading my 14-day late letters.
I came down here with a lot of answers today. Like you said, I've been talking to a lot of people. I've been talking to your husband, I've been talking to your mom, I've talked to your ex-girlfriends, I've talked to Christina's family.
Talking to what?
Yeah, yep.
No.
Yep. I've gotten around.
Well, you talked to my ex-girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
As in plural.
Well, one specifically.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, one specifically. Just
Bird
saying.
brain.
Yeah. So I've done my homework. And I don't think you've gotten a fair shake on the picture being painted. I don't. But I'm hoping you can kind of fill in the why it happened for me, because that's the part I want to know. Because that helps the attorneys decide which direction to go. That helps me decide what to recommend to the attorneys. At the end of the day, my job is just to gather all the facts. Is it easier if I tell you what I think happened? And you tell me if I'm right or wrong? Does that work? What I think happened that night, you guys were arguing. Christina's a volatile girl. I would venture to say maybe even a little bit of an unstable girl. You loved her with all your heart, and I think we've all been in a relationship where that love is on fire, and the next minute you guys are screaming and yelling and throwing pots and pans. That kind of love. Everybody's been in a relationship that's volatile like that. And I think that's the kind of relationship you and her had. I think that night you guys were having one of the bad nights. And she called the cops, tried to get you out of there. You tried to leave. She jumped in your car crying, telling you not to leave. So you pulled up to the police officer. You had her, the police officer help you get her out of your car. And at some point, you ended up back in that apartment with her. I think was it to get your stuff, to get out of there. Was that why you were back in there after those couple contacts with the police, is to get your stuff? I'm not here to play games with you, Joe.
I'm not here to play games. I'm here to cover my ass.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know we're here for the why now.
I ended up with a Danko and I ended up homeless. And in Minnesota, that's not easy.
No, it's cold as
especially when you're used to humidity.
Yeah.
My boss told me about the grease shed, the grease room in the back of the building. 2 metal doors, got grease dumpster, fire department. But it's got a heater in it. So that night, the cops were involved 3 times. I went back to my little cubbyhole, laid down, and my phone started just going off the wall. So I started checking the messages, and she wanted me to come back.
Yeah.
She called, text on, or something like that on the Text Now app. Called and texted and wanted the video chat on Facebook. Told myself, don't respond, just go to sleep. But I ended up responding to her. She said she wanted me to come back. She couldn't sleep. She wanted to cuddle. She loved me, she forgave me. She promised that she would take care of me. Now that's what a woman's supposed to do.
Yeah.
A man works his ass off, even if it's part-time. Washing dishes at a high pace ain't easy for me.
Yeah.
But I loved it. 3 days a week, every day my back hurt like hell. Come home from work, you're supposed to have dinner, the house is supposed to be clean. She did the dishes a lot, but I always cleaned up the house. I vacuumed, made the bed. She did the laundry most of the time. But all her money, and that was one of the biggest things we fought about, was finances. I told her that she has an addiction, she needs help. All those purses on top, Michael Kors, and $400. I told her, I'm out busting I scrapped my truck and that abandoned car so you can do this kind of shit. No, I bust my ass so that we can eat.
Right. She's buying purses.
Purses and other shit. Clothes. So I ended up going to Walmart. I had this feeling that she was gonna throw my ass out of the house again, take my keys, throw my ass out, and the cops told her that the keys were mine. I'm a resident there, or whatever they call it.
You were paying rent, so you had a right to be there.
Yeah. So I ended up getting a key made for the door, and I just spent like $40 on one of those nice Brinks, deadbolts and doorknobs.
Yeah.
Because her mom had keys to her place, and she didn't want her mom walking in there all the time. Like that. So I ended up changing it for her, spending my money on that. If you notice, it was upside down. It was the first time I ever changed it.
I was wondering about that.
And I couldn't figure it out, and I'm like, it's not that hard. It can't be that hard. But I can't figure it out.
Hey, it worked, right?
Got some motor oil, I can figure it out.
Hey, you got it to work.
I got it to work. Welcome to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Got the key made. I can't remember if I bought cigarettes or not. I think I did. I think I might have bought something to eat. But on my way to the cash register, I passed by these huge bears.
Oh, stuffed animal? Yeah.
And Valentine's Day was gonna be in February. And I know she likes stuffed animals. All her exes
Gave her stuffed animals, and even this Jacob dude gave her a alpaca made from alpaca fur. And I was actually wanting to get a purple one because her favorite color is purple, but they didn't have one. So I'm like, I guess pink's gonna have to work. $30, and I looked at it and I'm like, all right, I think I can do it. You know, I didn't have maybe but $80 in my pocket that I could spend.
Sure.
So I grab the bear and I have all this other shit. I check out, walk out of Walmart, smiling, thinking everything's gonna be all right. That I will tell you, every vehicle I have, piece of shit or not,
Yep.
I will push it to the limits. Her car, her Christina's Chevy Malibu that she had. Okay, I took that every day that I was going from her place to work, 110 miles an hour.
You never got stopped, huh?
Never got stopped. Sitting in her car, and I'm trying to come up with a plan. What am I supposed to do? I got the bear. That's gonna make her happy. So she wants to cuddle. She wants me to hold her. She'll take care of me. I think she forgets me. Go to the door. Go up. Knock on her door. Hold the bear up to where it's just the bear's head and the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, yeah.
She looks out. She stands there. She opens it. And I see a look on her face. It's a look I've actually never seen. And it wasn't excitement. It wasn't pleasure. The smile wasn't, there wasn't anything behind the smile. And her eyes were conniving. You know, they're hiding something. I just pushed that aside and said, yeah, I got you something. Now whenever I'm at work and you got something to cuddle with. She's like, oh yeah, you're right, I do. Throws me off, kind of creepy, and didn't know how to respond. The thing that hurt the most is like, is she using me for my money? I get $76 a month in food stamps. I just spent 75 something on her vegan shit. Every time she called it off or I called it off, I told her I want my money. She's like, you're not getting it. You can take me to civil court. It's $500. You're gonna throw me out there on the street broke with no money when I just spent everything on you again? So I end up falling asleep. She ends up in bed. I throw my leg over her legs, throw my arm over her. I'm sleeping. All of a sudden, everything just happens real quick. I'm dead asleep, it's dark. My arm gets thrown off of her. And that hurt. When you're on your side and your whole arm just go wham like that, it hurts. So that woke me up. And briefest of time, as soon as my arm comes back down, I get a elbow in the sternum. And that hurts. My fucking half Richard hit me there a few times. He's a Marine. The pain doesn't make me cry or anything, but it pisses me off.
Sure.
You know, I'm dead asleep and then all of a sudden something happens. So I jump out of bed real quick thinking that something's gonna go down. And I look at her, she's standing up, she's pissed. I'm like, what? What's going on? And she just starts screaming and yelling all over again. So I go back over to her and I'm like, let me guess, you hit him. She's like, yep. I'm like, alright. Yeah, I want you to do me a favor now. I want you to come with me to the storage shed so I can grab my fucking duffel bag, grab my sleeping bag, and I'm gonna grab the rest of my shit, and I'm gone. You wanted me to cuddle with you. I wanted you to take care of me. Can't you see I'm white? I'm sick. I can't deal with this shit. The stress is killing me, and I have to be at work today, and I have no energy and no tolerance for any more of this shit, so I'm leaving. I'm not coming back. She grabbed the doorknob, stand in front of it, refused to let, and what pissed me off is she knew that it pissed me off, because she knew I was not gonna touch her. So she would do shit like that on purpose. Then she would put her hands on my chest and push me back, and she knew I wouldn't grab her. She knew I wouldn't push back and push her out of my way. It pissed me off that I was helpless.
Right.
You know, she wouldn't let me leave. And all I wanted to do was leave.
Right.
All I wanted was my speaker and my sunglasses my mom gave me. She refused to give me my speaker back and my sunglasses. Made me mad, but it pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because my arms are as long as her feet to head. I can just grab it. So I have absolutely no energy, and my patience is wearing thin. I want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up opening the closet. I bent over and I reached for it, and she pushes me over. And it doesn't take much to push me over when I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down looking up at her, and I'm like, what is your problem? You know, you come off as small, sweet, innocent, and you cry in front of the cops, say all this about me, and again, you lied to the cops about me.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think I'm not in jail this time? Because they know better.
Right.
They know what's going on. Why don't you just stop, let me get my and leave? You're not the innocent angel that you claim to be. Fuck it. I will come back tomorrow and get my with the cop. This. So I get up and I walk to the bedroom door. She jumps in front of it, does her whole little tear-jerking, crying, screaming at me, "You don't leave me, you don't abandon me." I'm like, hey, should have thought about that before you reached my jacket. You should have thought about that before you had the cops call. You should have thought about that before you decided to do all this. You are bipolar. You got a drawer full of medication. And I know for a fact that you are not taking your prescribed medication the way you're supposed to. You have problems, I have problems. This tornado volcano ain't working. We've been down this before. We've done everything we can. I'm doing everything I can, but I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen you do shit. You're still the same person.
What's she saying to all this?
She's screaming. And most of the time when she screamed, it was high-pitched and in Bulgarian.
That's gotta get to you.
She's grabbing the doorknob, standing in front of it, and like I said, I'm not gonna grab her.
Mm-hmm.
The cops already explained, even if I just raise my hand, it's an assault charge. I'm not gonna do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, look, you need to get out of my way. And it's only a matter of time till I can not control myself.
Right.
I need to leave.
So she's pushing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she does this on purpose every time we fight. She ends up jumping on my back, wrapping her legs around me, wrapping her arms around me. Pisses me off. I'm already weak.
Yeah.
I can't hold 125 or 130 pounds up, so I fall over.
Are you in the living room or are you in the bedroom?
Bedroom.
Okay.
And I'm looking up at her.
She's standing or is she?
Yeah, she's standing.
Okay.
I'm looking up at her. And she starts slapping me, punching me, and hitting me in the mouth and pulling my hair. I grab her hand when she has my hair, and I remember standing up. I told her, you f***ed up.
What
And
happened?
everything else is just black or really foggy.
You use your hands?
I don't remember. There's a time lapse.
What's the next thing you remember?
Confusion.
How so?
Fear. And if I'm too pissed, problem comes out. And I told her about him. Don't ever push me to the point, because I can't stop what he does.
Joe, what's the next thing you remember?
Next thing I remember, there was a time lapse.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared.
Okay.
And I was confused.
Still in the bedroom?
Oh,
Where were you?
I was back here. I didn't know what to do.
You were back where?
Back in Arkansas.
Where was Cristina?
The problem that I told her that I had that I can't control, his name is Pete. And Richard has seen him so many times.
Pete's you?
Pete's not me.
Pete comes out through you? What did Pete do?
He
What did he do?
Well, you're obviously remorseful. We know that.
The only time that I know what Pete does is when he tells me.
Okay, what's he told you so far then? You said the next thing you remembered, you were back here in Arkansas. Was that before or after you went to New Orleans? So where was Cristina? Was she in that Connex box? Is that where she was when you were back here? Is that where you left her?
I didn't do anything. I tried to keep everything from happening. I begged her to stop.
And she pushed you. You had to defend yourself. I get it. She pushed you past that point. Every man has that line that you can't get pushed past.
I dream about her.
What's that? So you dream about her?
When I can sleep, I used to sleep really peaceful. I was only a couple of hours, and I wake up sweating.
Were you excited to have a kid with her?
Oh yeah. And when she called me when I was at work, when the Danko was in place and told me that she just had a miscarriage, I stopped what I was doing and told my boss I needed to leave, and I hauled ass over there.
You don't want to talk about certain things. I can respect that. Why'd you pick New Orleans?
If I know.
Just dumb luck? That's just where you decided to go?
If I know.
What was the shovel and the pick for? Or what was your plan there?
That's the thing is I'm getting a lot of details and information, from the police report, from people's statements, and I'm still trying to piece everything together. It's all confusing to me. I know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's not making sense.
Yeah, I get that. I get that it was in a fog. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. Your adrenaline was running the entire time, which is a super long time to be on point like that.
I'm going to say this jokingly, but I'm also going to be serious.
Mm-hmm.
Counseling, I tried getting it when I was in Minnesota. I tried everything I could. Talked to everybody I could. But the only pill that's going to help me now is a lead pill.
I can tell you from experience from doing this for quite a while, once a person talks about what happened, and really talks about it.
Yeah, they feel better, but then they end up shooting themselves in the foot.
Do they though? At the end of the day, the cards are dealt. What's happened's happened. The outcome's going to be the same. It's, do you want your story to be heard? Do you want that weight off your shoulders? Do you want a chance to tell your story?
When I all started out, I met her on this app. I think it was Tinder or something. Like you get the multi-shots. You got this person, this person, this person, this person.
Yeah.
So I'm just scrolling, and all of a sudden I see her. I'm like, hold on. So I click it, and I'm like, holy shit. That's a Snow White dress. I love Disney. And Frozen is my favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
Classic Disney is my favorite. So I asked her, is that a Snow White dress you're wearing in the picture? And she responded, yes, it is. How'd you know? And I'm like, I like Disney, I was just curious. I saw just the top part right here.
Sure.
And then we started just talking. There's one thing that I was keeping from her, and that was marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually it came out. And it came out when I was still down here. And
how'd she take that?
not very well. Me and Cristina were just talking, learning about each other, just being friends, and that's all I actually wanted from her. Cristina and I are getting to know each other, and about a month goes by and she drops the bomb. And it took me by surprise. She told me, I think I have feelings for you. And when I read that message, I'm like, oh, what do I say? Should I just tell her the truth? Thanks, but I'm only interested in friendship, or should I just be nice and say the same thing? So I decided to go with nice. But over the time, I ended up very quickly, after I said that, falling in love with her, actually. So I ended up telling her, and the next day after I told her, I get a message on Facebook. Can't remember what all it said, but in blatant terms, she broke up with me. Right. So I ended up sending her a message like that by creating another profile, which is the only thing I could think of.
Sure.
you know, and I was very polite. Sent her that message, thanking her and telling her I hope you find what you're looking for in life. Well, I wake up and my phone's going off and Christina's crying, asking for forgiveness, asking for a second chance. I look at my mom and I'm thinking, this is not a good idea, this is not a good idea. Alright, I'll give you your second chance and we'll see where it goes. Are we still on for me coming up there for a week and you coming down here? She's like, yeah, okay. I was not going there to have sex with her. I was going over there to get to know her in person like that, and I told her, hey, look, I'm going to sleep in my truck with my dog. She didn't want me doing that, and I didn't want my dog sleeping out there by himself, but I wanted to bring him inside, but the place doesn't allow pets. I got no other choice but to get rid of my dog. Probably the second or third day I was there, and I cried. Months afterwards, I would actually sit on the edge of her bed, and I would cry, and I'd say, I miss my dog, I miss my boy.
Joe, when did you tell Richard what happened?
When I was at his trailer.
Did you go to his house before New Orleans, or did you come back to his house from New Orleans?
Oh, I ended up at his place after everything. I got stopped in Minnesota,
Missouri,
and
then down here,
and then Evening Shade.
In Missouri and Evening Shades, they come up and talked to you and looked at the car, right? Or was it just Missouri?
No, both of them.
Had both of them, right?
Both of them searched my vehicle.
How'd that make you feel?
I gave them permission.
I know you did. She was in the car. How'd that make you feel? It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure having her in that suitcase. Which one was it? The red one or the black one? We've got pieces of the suitcase with the body. So I know the answer that she's in one of these two suitcases. I'm just trying to help put the last little pieces together. Right here, Joe. See that right here? Look at it. Look at this, Joe. Right here, that's a sliding rail from the handle from the suitcase. It's hard to look at.
The agent just put a piece of the red suitcase on the table. The same suitcase Joseph emptied out in Christina's bedroom. The same suitcase he dragged into a shipping container in New Orleans. A piece of it survived the fire, and detectives kept it. And now it is sitting on a table in an interrogation room in Arkansas. And Joseph Porter, who spent the entire first interrogation saying Cristina was at the condo in Minnesota, says 4 words. It's hard to look at. Not, I don't know what that is. Not, where did you get that? It's hard to look at, because he knows exactly what it is, and so does everyone else in that room.
But all this didn't happen because you're some sort of animal. This all happened because the way you were pushed and the way you were treated. How she wouldn't listen when you told her to stop. She pushed you too far and you couldn't keep it together. Right. Am I right? She wouldn't listen and you couldn't keep it together. You put your hands on her neck and you choked her. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Joe. And she started putting her hands on you, started pushing you, grabbing you by your hair, disrespecting you. Give up all your money for her, so she can feed her addiction, her purses. Well, she pissed away all her money. She wants you to take her out to $60 dinners. But she can't even afford to buy her own food. One minute she loves you, and the next minute she's kicking you out. There's only so far a person can get pushed. The anger took over, and you choked her. And then when you finally let go, there was no more life left. And you panicked. And you panicked and you did the next thing you could figure out to do. And she already had the suitcases out. And so you took the biggest suitcase and you emptied it out. And you put her in it. And you panicked. You kept panicking. You jumped in that car. and you started making your plan and making your trip. That's what I think happened, Joe. Is that what happened?
Can I see that picture again?
Which one? That's your baby. That's your baby. Am I right? Is what I said is what happened, isn't it, Joe? It's hard to look at. It's hard to look at. Right there's a piece of the suitcase handle, Joe. We know what happened. I just told you what happened, Joe. You gotta make a decision. Do you want to carry this alone? Or do you want to get it off your chest? What
It
happened?
doesn't matter if I talk about it or not.
Well, it does matter.
It's still gonna be there when I sleep. It's there with me every minute of the day.
You are not the first guy I've talked to in this position, Joe. I've had this conversation with multiple men with similar actions, facing similar consequences. And right down to the last of them, they have all told me when everything was done and they've been sentenced, the one thing that they were happy they did is that they talked about it. But you owe it to yourself.
No. I owe it to her.
Joe, what'd you do to Cristina? If it happened in Minnesota, where you killed her, and we both know you did, it's a state murder charge. It's 25 years. You're what, 25, 26, 27, somewhere in there? It's a 50-year-old man walking out. The state has parole. And I'm not saying that's what you get, but that's how the state works.
Federal.
A federal
is
federal kidnapping.
Class Y felony, which is capital murder, which is either death row or life without.
Mm-hmm. So what matters where it happened.
And I would much rather sit my ass in a cell for 10 years waiting for the needle than die an old man in prison or come out an old man in prison.
Either way, telling us what happens gets you there faster. Those are your choices to make.
So you want a confession? And that'll seal the deal. Guaranteed.
I don't make any guarantees in this world.
That'll guarantee my fate.
Your fate is sealed.
That'll make it all a whole lot quicker. There's no trial or anything.
It's true.
I just want those pictures. And I want you to give me the f***ing needle.
That's not my decision, Joe.
You know, why did you stop in Belton, Missouri?
And where?
Belton, Missouri, Home Depot. Okay, why did you stop there? What caused you to stop there? You know, those are some of the answers we're looking for. Why did you stop there?
In Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the little pieces now. Before I knew where you out, man, I originally guessed that you were planning to bury her in Minnesota and realized the ground was too frozen. But then once we actually sorted out where you got it, that didn't make sense anymore.
I knew each thing that I was leaving behind would get found. It had to tie back to me. I wanted that.
Walk us through beginning to end.
She grabbed my hair. I was still sitting down. I got up, grabbed her hand, looked at her, and told her, "You f***ed up. I couldn't take it anymore. I told you if I'm too scared, too pissed, that motherfucker comes out, and I'm gone." Pete took control. And I wasn't man enough to stop him. I grabbed her by her nightgown, by the front of it, and I threw her onto the bed. reached in the closet, grabbed the bag, ripped it open. Started grabbing some of the gifts that I got her. And I was screaming at her that we're done, we're done, we're done. So I started ripping Barbie dolls' heads off and arms and bit the tail off the wolf and broke the necklace and like that. And all I wanted was my and to leave. That's it. She kept hitting me, and finally I had enough when she backhanded me in the mouth that I backhanded her back. And when I did that, I slapped her a couple times. And I sat on top of her, on the bed. I started punching her. Punched her in her ribs. Knocked the wind out of her. Can't breathe, can't fight. I punched her in her face. I got tired. So exhausted real quick. I got off of her. I sat down. She sat up. I looked at her face. And I just started crying. She said, "Is it bad?" And I said, "Yeah." "You want me to take you to the hospital?" She said, "No, I want the cops to." I'm like, "Okay." She got up, looked in the mirror. Her right eye was swollen. Her forehead, where her hairline was gashed. Her right cheekbone was gashed. And when she saw her reflection, she got even crazier than she ever was. And I was on my knees, the power cord around my neck, begging her to kill me. And I was begging her for her forgiveness, telling her how sorry I was, asking her to let me take her to the hospital. She started screaming so loud and out of control. Started scratching me, or slapping me, punching me, over and over and over. Finally, I got pissed off again. And I ended up hitting her more. She ended up sticking her thumb in my eye. I wrapped my arm around her throat. And all I wanted to do was render her unconscious. Just put her to sleep. Just for a few minutes. At that time, we were on the floor, in front of the closet, in front of the bird cage. And I'm so far gone. I felt her body go limp. So I figured she was asleep. I got out from under her. I looked at her. Her tongue was hanging out of her mouth. Her lips were blue. I've never given CPR. In the 7th grade, they did what they could to teach us. And I tried what I could. Pumped her chest. I gave her mouth to mouth, but nothing happened. And I was so tired, and I gave it everything I could. I was crying, and I was scared. She wasn't moving, she wasn't breathing, and I panicked. I didn't know what to do, so I emptied out the red suitcase. I emptied out a charcoal gray one. I put my sleeping bag in the gray one. And my food. I ended up taking some of her jewelry, taking all of her cell phones. I put her in the red suitcase. I took them both out to my car, put them in the back seat. So I just started driving. Didn't have anywhere planned. Didn't know where to go. Didn't know what to do. Thought about going to the police station with it. Thought about going as fast as that piece of car can go and going into traffic. Driving off a bridge or something. But I didn't. I told myself, she needs a funeral. I can't just leave her in a suitcase. I can't just dump her off somewhere. So I ended up somewhere. I thought it was in Minnesota and Home Depot. I bought the tools. I was gonna bury her out by the lake where I fished at. so I can be close to her. But the ground was frozen. And I got even more scared, so I got back in my car. I kept driving. I wasn't scared when the cops searched my vehicle. I gave them permission because I wanted them to find her. I ended up in New Orleans. Don't know why the fuck I ended up there. I wanted to bury her because it was proper. I didn't want to throw her in a dumpster. That's just fucked up. Didn't want to just leave her in a ditch because that's fucked up. And I pulled her out of the suitcase. Exhausted. Took me about 5 hours to dig a small hole. I had no strength. I put her in it. And it just wasn't right for me. I looked at her, and I've never seen somebody's face so peaceful. Not in life, not in sleep.
He is talking about Cristina after he killed her, after he put her in a suitcase, after he drove 1,500 kilometers south, before he set her on fire. He looked at her face, and the word he chose was peaceful. He talked to her like she was alive. He asked her permission to cremate her. He said he couldn't just leave her in a ditch because that would be wrong. He said he loved her. And somehow, in his mind, all of those things are true at the same time. The love in the killing, the tenderness in the suitcase, the bear from Walmart and the gasoline. Joseph Porter does not see a contradiction in any of it. And that is the most disturbing thing about this entire case.
There was something so tranquil and peaceful about her face when I looked down at her. It didn't make sense to me. So I picked her back up. I sat down. 2 or 3 day cadaver. The smell bothered me, but I love her. And I talked to her like she was alive. I told her I was sorry. Please forgive me. And I told her I couldn't bury her. I asked her if she would be alright being cremated. Of course, there wasn't any response. So I put her back in the suitcase. I dragged it to the C-trains. I piled up pallets. Put her on top of it, which was one hell of a struggle. I stacked some tires. Poured 2.5 gallons of gas. And it got on my pants. Got on my boots. I didn't care. I'm smart enough to know that fire is a mother, and it needs air. So I took her all the way to the back, knowing that the fire would go all the way to the front. And I stood right there, 2 feet from her. And I struck that lighter, and it blew my back. And it hurt like hell. But it didn't do what I wanted it to. Survival ended up taking over, and I ran out of there. I stopped, I turned around, and I looked. I didn't go back down the road, but I saw the flashing lights, and I knew she'd been found. And I knew it was only a matter of time till they found out who she was. Part of me was happy. Then I left. I went back to Richard. And I knew it was only a matter of time. I had that feeling that y'all were going to show up, so I didn't sleep. I just waited every day. I asked myself the same question. Why did I even bother going back?
Did you leave the gas can behind?
With gas in it, so it'd blow up.
Oh, and with her? Okay.
When I lit it, there were 3 different explosions. Every one of them hurt like hell. When I got out of jail, I can't remember what time, I was done talking to my mom. Because all she's ever done for me, Richard, Kyla, Cristina, was cause problems. Talk behind each of our backs about one another. She'd drive a wedge into everything. Everything that made me happy, she had to destroy.
Where's your dad at?
I don't know. My mom don't know. And y'all guys don't even know. And to be honest, I don't think the guy that's actually on my birth certificate, Porter, the last name I have, is my father. I look 100% identical to my dead uncle, and I know my mother and my uncle had one hell of an estranged relationship, because it is not normal for two adults, siblings, from the same parents, a girl to be sitting, adults mind you, 20s, the girl to be sitting on a toilet, and the guy to be standing in the bathroom with her butt ass naked. That's just not normal.
No.
So I was able, through time, to put enough together that I'm inbred. And it does not make me happy. I really f***ed up. I did everything I could, but it wasn't enough, and I gotta pay for it. I don't know if either one of you have ever taken a life, but this is extremely hard. Especially someone I love and care about. I could have protected her from everybody, but not from myself. She told me about one of her ex-boyfriends. I threw on my gay bar, threw on my camo jacket, grabbed a steel pipe, told her to get dressed, we're going over to his place, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. We ended up getting in the car. She had second thoughts. I was willing to kill for her, but I couldn't protect her from myself.
On January 15th, 2019, Joseph Porter pleaded guilty to second-degree unintentional homicide. He was sentenced to 20 years and 10 months in prison. He is set for release in 2034. His own mother called the prosecutor after sentencing and asked about the verdict. The attorney said, "What were you expecting?" She said, "Life without parole." She said 20 years is not enough. She was right. Joseph Porter beat Cristina Prodan, strangled her, put her in a suitcase, drove 1,500 kilometers, was stopped by police twice with her body in the car, bought tools to bury her, set her on fire when the ground was too frozen to dig, burned his own face and hands standing 2 feet away, and then drove to his husband's house and waited. He was caught because of a pawn shop kiosk in an Arkansas Walmart, because his husband talked, because detectives in Minnesota refused to stop looking, and because Joseph Porter, despite everything, left a trail of evidence so wide that even he knew it was only a matter of time. The judge noted the particular cruelty of what he had done, not just the killing, but what came after: the suitcase, the drive, the fire, the way he treated a person he claimed to love. Cristina Prodan was 27 years old. She had immigrated to the United States from Bulgaria with her family. She was an aspiring fashion designer. Her mother, Livia, called 911 when she hadn't heard from her daughter in 2 days, because they talked every day. That was the kind of relationship they had. Joseph Porter said he loved her. He said she was the best relationship he ever had. He said nobody had ever treated him the way she did. And then he put her in a red suitcase.